The question of server, I agree with Mutahi Ngunyi that it has two sides of the story. It is failure by IBC to open server, but that failure could also have been entertained by the courts that upheld William Ruto's results without clarity about the question of server or whether fully IBC granted access to the opposition, to the Azimio team. This is the truth, and this is the valid truth, that Smartmatic had wrote a letter on the security question, or rather on the level of access that could be granted in that server, and to prove that, of course, they were the custodian of that. This is an argument that has been triggered by one Mutahi Ngunyi, a political analyst and a lawyer who I believe speaks his mind, but is very strategic in terms of what he's feeding the public. This argument has been triggered, and at some point you really have, and I said, this matter of server, it's not going to leave people's lips as we might actually want, because I think Kenyans can't just stop talking. There is a video I want to play for you here of how a gentleman was reacting and asking about the server. I really laughed. It's on a light note. But then I like the video because I think the gentleman is asking questions that the common man there is asking. Questions that a commoner, me and you, are actually asking. Especially people who are privy to IT can explain it to the very big jaguars. But simply this is the question.
Yaani Wakenya mnataka kuniambia kwamba server si poto? Server si poto na poto si server? You want to tell me that I've been wrong all this while? Mwenye ako na server basi alete. So urere chi server ba? Ewe. Oibuna server. Kwa sababu sasa tutashinda kwa kitu moja. Kama ni kitu kufunguliwa, server ni nini kwanza? Ni kitu inaweza funguliwa? Kama ni kitu inaweza funguliwa, sifunguliwe. Ama kwa sababu sasa ni nini? Ifunguliwe, ionekane ni what's not, ni kitu inaweza onekana ndani. Kama ni kitu inaweza onekana ndani, sifunguliwe. Mwenye yako naye ewe rera chi server oibuna server mulete server wenye mko nayo, kwa sababu sasa tutashinda hapo. Sawa, mambo ni mengi, watu tuko na stress, Wakenya wako na stress mingi. Sawa, na kama ni hiyo ndio kitu inatakana isifunguliwe, tuangalie ndani basi, ni huku ndani na kana mna hii na ikuwe na mna hiyo, kwa sababu hii confusion inataka kutokea, mchanganyiko inataka kutokea sasa. Moshi pa si mzuri, na kaona moshi moshi ya yellow.
I will try tomorrow or on Thursday to find out the difference between portal and server. But according to my previous interview that I did with an IT expert, the server is what feeds that portal, and they are looking at the result transmission process. The intermediaries, there are different servers there, and in the middle something can happen. But I'll try to answer that question. I know many people are confused if server not portal and portal not server. I'm telling you, Kenyans have really, but that's on a light note. Let's get to some good news. I was to do a fundraiser for Mercy to be released from hospital. The lady who delivered and had complications and was detained for an 80,000 balance, or rather than 8,000 bill in Kenyatta Hospital. The good news is that I received the target for release, and I said there is no need to wait, because the husband was taking the child there every day, which was very dangerous for the health of the child. So today, on 19th, I secured the release, and she's now home with the family. I'm going to share with you that video towards the end of this. And now the rest of it that remains is the project of getting a motorbike for the husband. So we only remain with the motorbike challenge, as little as what you can have. I think if you get around maybe 100,000 towards between now and maybe weekend, so that by Monday I'll go back and make sure the husband gets a motorbike, maisha iendelee, and I'll be so grateful for that. So kindly, let's see how the motorbike challenge can go. That will play for the rest of it. Remember, the challenge is supposed to take 1 week. Asanteni sana. And Mercy and the family has also said thank you for the Bond family. Guys, Mutahi Ngunyi tweet is speaking about a debate. And this is a debate about the role of the courts in abetting plan to Azimio, deny Azimio la Umoja audience. According to me, Martha Koome led bench did not grant Azimio la Umoja audience. And what was there was just for formality. And I agree with Mutahi Ngunyi that questions, there are very many unanswered questions. And I want to tell you why, to the best of my observation, Azimio was not granted audience. 3 questions. How is it? What kind of consideration, what kind of situation was it that nearly all the complaints, or rather all the prayers that Azimio la Umoja presented before court were trashed, and all evidence that was given by IBC were trusted? You know, and I remember when I analyzed, I said, the challenge is here. IBC, what IBC, of course you were expecting IBC to defend themselves. This is a situation where umepata mwizi, amiba, but then it's the mwizi defending him or herself. So they took by totality. Everything that IBC said was yes, yes, yes. But everything that Azimio la Umoja said was no, no, no. What kind of, is it ideal even in real life? And I do believe that's why they decided not to do it the traditional way, where each judge gives his opinion, his or her opinion, and then it was branded as anonymous. To me, this is something that, to some extent, you don't want to tell me that all that evidence that Azimio was carrying, all that was done in court, you can't give 2022 election a clean bill. And to some extent, I think that's what we did. Second question, unanswered question on my end is this. Why did the Supreme Court judges sanitize the commission on the conduct of the last general election, while in the spirit of collective responsibility, there were some breaches because of the breakaway commission? Whether, irrespective of who is right or wrong, but in real sense, these commissioners are supposed to be working together. So a situation where some walk away and some are not there cannot be taken lightly. And I saw it being corroborated by, being, packaged as some corporate, it was some corporate indiscipline, or rather some corporate squabbles. IBC is not Kenya Power. Well, I'm even using the wrong example. IBC is not a company for making sweets that sells products, where if board of directors what it doesn't take it. IBC is a commission that is a custodian of our transition. And when there is a breakaway, it is about that breakaway can also split in the population. That's it. Now there are those who support General 4 and those who support Chebukati Commission. How is it a coincidence that the judges only believe that all those 3 Even though in 2017, the three, the Chebukati and the likes, were at the height of the elections or in charge of elections, and there were problems. And even that election was thrown away. So the same problems that might have experienced in 2017 replicated themselves in 2022. The question of servers starting to be raised, to be opened, and they refused, but we didn't pay attention to it. That's a question I still wonder how we got into that. Then the third thing is this. Even after, during making that ruling, what was the reason behind using that much unjudicial language on the other petitioners? It looks like someone wanted to put election to closure. That's number one. Put that election to closure. And number two, trash anyone that will want to criticize the results. But that backfired. So, on that, what do you think, what would Mutahi Ngunyi achieve by this narrative? To me, there are some four objectives that this is coming. Remember, it is coming in, if you put it in some context, sometimes for you to understand politics, you must put things into some context. We have discussion about bipartisan talks going on. We have discussions about Mandamano going on that may be coming back to Mandamano. Raila has said open the servers. Who is supposed to open the servers? IBC. Now, what does it supposed to happen? Then we need to look for a legal process of doing it. A legal recourse of making sure that it's done. So it's a bit of a process, but the result which can be achieved by this debate. Number one, the bipartisan talks may be on that wing, their inside strategy to make sure that they involve audit of Supreme Court. And let me say audit of Supreme Court, the capacity of that Supreme Court to arbitrate presidential elections is worrying. This is it. After 2007, we went down to the dogs stupidly because we didn't have structures to handle our election petitions. We didn't have those structures. And that is why, to cure that, we brought, in the 2010 constitutions, we proposed the Supreme Court, the same as that in United States of America. So the Supreme Court was supposed to mediate presidential results. And apart from that, arbitrate presidential results. And again, it gives an opportunity. It's a buffer zone that if you feel like things are not good, there is somewhere you can go. However, is it just about having a court to put an end to the presidential election cycle, or it is a court that can arbitrate and find out really, is so and so a genuine winner? That's the question. And is it about, we should have a Supreme Court that if their capacity to arbitrate presidential results, it should be about who is a winner, who is a genuine winner. And to some extent, if Supreme Court will still be depending on what IBC is saying and what lawyers of the winner is saying, then we will still spiral around the problem, and it's not going, there is nothing it's helping with. Sorry to say it. High side. We should have a court that can also say, fine, Azimio, you are saying things are bad, it happened this way, bring your evidence, put here. Kenya Kwanza, you said you took agents and these are your forms, okay, put here. IBC, this is what you are saying, put here. Then wait. Let that court have the independent capacity of even opening that service. Yes. So that instead, otherwise, this is going to be an auction house, an auction court where highest bidder runs with it. The political infiltration in it. So that is what Mutahi Ngunyi is driving, and I support. It is not just about having a court where a loser can always go. It should be something with substance. Then, It triggers a question that were the orders to open the servers adhered to? The answer is no. And this was there. I remember push and pull between the lawyers. We've been. There is a fail to grant us access, but the court never pushed. I remember Maraga in 2017 pushed, and until one rubber met the road, he cancelled that election because there was mistrust. And I'm sure if we would have cancelled 2 elections, we'll be going to 2027 in a different aspect, knowing very well that if you mess, it will be cancelled. So those who plan on how to rig, we really have to be very wary of the process. Mtahi Ngunyi is saying, many of you don't support him. And what he's saying, that Ruto never won that election, but there were deep forces behind him. And that is what he means by saying that fact is 6 unelected judges made Ruto president. Unelected. Now, in the Supreme Court, there are 7 judges. So if you are to get 6 versus 1, then the president of Supreme Court is Martha Koome. She is the one. Is she the one? Is she one amongst the 6, or is it her? Then the others are the 6 who were elected, and then if there are 6 elected judges, then who is this unelected judges? Then who is this who was elected? This is what he says, that the judges were bribed. What Mutahi Ngunyi is saying here is judges were bribed. The 6 judges were bribed. And remember, it is in the corridors that there is one judge who did not concur with what the others were saying. So the judges were compromised. Lastly, I think there is also a plan to expand the bipartisan talks to broader issues that even touches on judiciary. And with that, we are heading to some vote mobilization in terms of referendum. This is what Mutahi Ngunyi is saying, that the courts were compromised. Let's take a look, and I'm leaving you with the video of Mercy and the family. This is today after she spoke after she was released, and may God bless all of you that are supporting as we continue with the rest bit to get the husband a motorbike. On Monday, we can target 100. We can pull this. At least we get a motorbike, so pays the rent, and life goes on, and God will really bless us in everything that we do. Santeni.
So, hi guys, asanteni sana Team Bold. You know, as I'm doing this video, if there is one of the best videos I like doing is this one. I'm doing this video home hapa niko Dandora, and it's my first time coming here. Niko na Mercy and Steven, the young couple I was talking about. By the way, we managed to release Mercy, and I realized there was no need to wait until weekend or Monday or Friday, because we achieved the amount that was needed for her release, and she's back home. As you can see, we also managed to do very shopping for them, at least for now, and there's also going to be another cash that is going to remain here with them. So I just want to give them an opportunity first to at least usikie sauti yao, and I want them to maybe to talk to you about it. Karibu sana.
Kwa majina mimi naitwa Mercy.
Sinaongea pole pole.
Okay, kwa majina mimi naitwa Mercy. Mercy Waridi. Yes. Ningependa kushukuru sana kwa yale mazuri mmenifanyia, na although haikuwa ni rahisi sana, ila kwa upendo na yote imetendeka, yani sijui niseme nini, kwa sababu nahisi ni furaha nyingi sana moyoni mwangu. Nahisi ni machozi na nitoka kwa mengi mmenifanyia.
How was it ikiwa kwamba hauko karibu na mtoto? Nimeona sasa mwishoni unasonga karibu na mtoto.
Singeweza kulala kwa sababu kwa ile hali ambayo nilikuwa napitia pale hospitali, usiku wote yani usingizi haikuji kwa sababu nilikuwa nahisi uchungu sana. Maziwa inatiririka, inaniuma, kichwa inaniuma sana. Kwa hiyo nilipatana na daktari mmoja, nikapata nafasi nikazungumza na yeye, nikamuelezea yale ambayo napitia pale hospitali. Kisha alitafuta nafasi akaniambia nitakuja baada ya dakika 30 ili nipate kuzungumza na wewe zaidi. Baadaye alikuja, nikamuelezea mimi nilikuja huku hospitali na niligonjeka sana, nilikuja kujijulia huku hospitalini. Nilipotoka theater kufika hapa kwa ward, asubuhi nikiamka nilipatwa na uchungu sana mwilini mzima. Kwa hiyo pia nikawa nafikiria sana mtoto wangu, nikashindwa ja kufanya. Sasa nikamuomba nisaidie tu ili baba mtoto aweze kumleta mtoto nipate kumnyonyesha. Lakini haikuwa ni rahisi sana kwake kwa sababu pale hospitalini hawakubali watoto wachanga wakuje kwa ile hali ambayo iko pale hospitali.
Hawakubali watoto waletwe hospitali, lakini wewe ulikubaliwa.
Lakini mimi nilikubaliwa. Kulikuwa na wanawake wengi ambao walikuwa wamejifungua, mwingine akacha mtoto nyumbani kwa siku moja, mwingine kwa wiki, siku 3. Lakini mimi nilikubaliwa.
Na ni kama pale manesi hawakuwa na wasiwasi kwamba uko mbali na mtoto na mtoto ni mchanga?
Walikuwa wanakuja wananiuliza kwa sababu kila wakati mimi nilikuwa nikilia tu. Kila asubuhi mimi naamka nalia kwa sababu ile uchungu niliokuwa napitia. Nafikiria tu mtoto wangu pale ambapo hayuko sawa. Yes, on my side I want to say thank you so much for everything that mmenifanyia. Actually it's really amazing. I'm really very happy for everything, for the shopping. Actually I'm really very happy and thank you so much. God bless you. That's what I wanted to say.
I'm just so happy. Oh my, this is one of the very stories, and I remember, wow, it was not even me. The moment I called Steve and Steve told me ako hospitali, nikamwambia okay, you come, let's see. Akaniambia kwa nini? Akaniambia nipeleka mtoto. I think that's what struck me. For all those who had been receiving, by the way, when I heard that mtoto alikuwa hospitali amepeleka mtoto, I think it's true, it struck me. Steven, tuko nyumbani, back with the wife and the children, and you're the leader of this family. Unafeel aje?
Okay, thank you. Kwanza kabisa nataka nishukuru Bolt family kwa kazi nzuri, kwa kazi ngumu ambayo mmefanya. Sikuwa nafikiria kwamba itafanyika, lakini with you people mmefanya ikafanyika. So niko tu happy, nimefurahi, nimepata watu wangu wamerudi nyumbani.
Wow. This is, and I want to say thank you guys. We've done it. I knew, and I said we will do it. I know we had 2 plans. One was to release Mercy, and now that has been achieved. So the other plan was for Steve to get. Steve, you said what did you used to do before?
Okay, before I used to do motorbike. Yeah, I'm a boda rider. I ride around Dandora. So kwa saa hii sina pikipiki sababu nilikuwa na shida, nilikuwa nimeshikana osi kupeleka mtoto hapa na pale. So pikipiki ilichukuliwa na mwenyewe. Yeah. And since now my family is back, na mimi pia naweza tamani nirudi kazi na sina njia yoyote.
Wow. Now, that is what I said. We've done part 1, one of the most emotive part. I'm coming back here on Monday, and I want to come back here to make sure that Steve has a motorbike. Whichever way, how we are going to get it, let's do the second bit of it as we close the fundraiser on Saturday. What we will achieve, what we'll get, we'll be in a position to make Steve at least a target, to reach a target, apate motorbike, nyumba imelipwa. You told me there was a balance, ama? Yeah, how many months?
I have a balance of 3 months now.
3 months now. Tangu hii issue yanze.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we still need to, as I believe that as we close on Wednesday or on Saturday or this weekend, we're in a position to achieve. May God bless you. Now that Mercy, congratulations for the baby boy. He was born the same time as my son. And even from me, the Ball family, and my family. We wish you all the best as I come back on Monday to make sure that we finish the other part. Asanteni sana.